Let's get something straight before the calendar flips and the noise starts again. The problem was never the year. The problem was never the economy. The problem was never your boss, your parents, your past, or your circumstances. The one who needs to change is you. 2026 doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't negotiate with comfort. It doesn't reward intention. It only responds to action, discipline, and responsibility. If you walk into the new year with the same habits, the same mindset, the same financial ignorance, the same lack of structure, the same emotional chaos, you will get the same results. Different numbers on the calendar won't save you. Only a different version of you will. This is the year you stop outsourcing responsibility for your life. Own your life or someone else will. Personal development isn't motivational fluff. It's survival. In a world moving faster, more competitive, more automated, and more ruthless, the undisciplined get left behind. The confused get exploited. The passive get controlled. You don't need another inspirational quote. You need order. Order in your mornings. Order in your finances. Order in your body. Order in your thinking. Clean your room. Clean your calendar. Clean your bank statements. Clean your excuses. A renewed mindset for 2026 starts with radical honesty. Where are you weak? Where are you undisciplined? Where are you lying to yourself? Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Your results are a reflection of your standards. I want you to remember this. Discipline isn't punishment. Discipline is leverage. When you wake up early, train your body, sharpen your skills, work hard, and execute daily, you gain freedom. Freedom from anxiety, freedom from debt, freedom from dependence, freedom from regret. People search for motivation. Winners build systems. In 2026, motivation will fail you. Systems won't. Set non-negotiables. Train your body even when you don't feel like it. Read, learn, and upgrade your skills daily. Track your money like your future depends on it, because it does. Eliminate distractions that steal your focus and energy. This is how high performers are built. Not overnight, not magically, but deliberately. Now, I want you to write this down. Financial intelligence is no longer optional. Let's talk about money, because avoiding it is costing you years of your life. If you don't understand cash flow, assets, liabilities, and leverage, someone else will use that ignorance against you. Inflation doesn't care about your feelings. Debt doesn't forgive laziness. Time doesn't compound for the unprepared. 2026 is the year you stop working only for money and start making money work for you. Learn how wealth is built. Learn how income streams are created. Learn how ownership beats consumption. Stop buying liabilities to impress people who don't care about your future. Financial freedom starts with education, discipline, and long-term thinking. Not lottery dreams, not shortcuts, not excuses. The new you is built daily. The new you doesn't wait for January motivation. The new you doesn't negotiate with weakness. The new you shows up when it's hard, boring, uncomfortable, and lonely. This version of you understands that confidence is earned through competence. That self-respect comes from keeping promises to yourself. That meaning is found in responsibility, not pleasure. I believe you can do it. 2026 is the year you become dangerous in the best way possible. Physically strong, mentally sharp, financially aware, emotionally disciplined, not loud, not flashy, just effective. If you don't design your life, someone else will. If you don't control your habits, they will control you. If you don't upgrade your mindset, the world will outgrow you. So don't wish for a better year. Become someone who deserves one. New Year 2026 doesn't need a new calendar, it needs a new you. And the one who needs to change is you. Stay with me until the end. I promise you'll have a plan you can act on today. Listen, I'm Grandpa Leo. I've fallen flat, I've lost paychecks, I've had nights with no dinner on the table. I rebuilt. This is not a pep talk. It's the exact practical roadmap I used, updated for 2026. If you want freedom from worry, freedom to make choices, freedom to sleep at night, I'm going to walk you through it, step by step. First third of this talk, we set the foundation, mindset, truth, and one promise you must make to yourself. Second third, the exact systems, budget, emergency fund, savings hacks, investing basics, and skill building that will generate income. Last third, the momentum plan, how to take measured risks, scale, and live free by the end of 2026. Hear me now. Every big change begins with one small, brave step. Promise me you'll take at least one of these steps by midnight. ACTI. Foundation. How to be financially free in 2026. That phrase means something precise to me. It means having enough liquid savings, passive or reliable income, and debt control so you can choose how to spend your days. That's the promise of this next year, not fantasy overnight riches, but real freedom. I won't lie. The world is noisy. Markets roar. Ads scream. Get rich. Influencers sell shortcuts. I started poor because I believed the noise. You're not going to win by listening to noise. You win by listening to truth and repeating it until it becomes habit. First truth, discipline beats desire. Riches are not just math, they're habits. You have to want consistency more than you want comfort. That's a muscle you build daily. Second truth, numbers don't lie. You must know your financial reality. Not a guess, the reality. Income, monthly fixed bills, variable spending, debts with rates. I want you to write those down before you sleep tonight. There are financial apps that make it easier for you. Third truth, you are not alone. The Bible says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. That's Proverbs 15:22. When you bring counsel into your plan, mentors, books, trustworthy financial friends, your plan survives the storms. In the first third, you will take 3 decisive actions. 1. Record your numbers. 2. Choose one waste to cut this week. And 3. Commit to one habit you will do daily for money discipline. Do those and you've already started. I remember the day I had $14.23 in my bank account and an overdue notice tucked under the windshield wiper. I felt shame so deep it kept me awake. The shame made me hide. Hiding made me poorer. The day I wrote every penny down, even that $14, I stopped hiding. I began planning. That's the change I want for you. Now a bit of data to give you perspective. Historically, the broad U.S. stock market, the S&P 500, has delivered roughly around a 9–11% average annual return over very long periods. That doesn't mean every year is up. There are storms. But over decades, compound interest and reinvested dividends delivered that result. Use history for perspective, not prediction. Also, people are saving again in small amounts. The U.S. personal saving rate has been around low single digits in recent months, about 4% most recently, which means many Americans still spend most of what they earn. That's why the opportunity is huge for anyone who flips that script. Now let's move on. Act number 2, systems you can build and deploy today. We're in the meat of it now. This is your operational playbook for 2026. I'll keep it practical. Every system has 3 parts: simple, repeatable, measurable. Let me introduce you to the one-page budget. Make an honest one-page budget. Not a spreadsheet with 50 lines, one page, columns, income, fixed costs, essentials, wants, and savings goals. I do a reverse budget. Savings first, bills second, wants last. When you automate savings at the top, your day-to-day choices become easier. There are 3 micro rules for the budget. Automate a fixed transfer to savings the day your pay hits the account. Freeze 1 recurring subscription this month. Yes, find it and cancel it. Check your budget every Sunday for 10 minutes. No more, no less. In the next portion, I'll give you 3 savings hacks that actually stick. If you stay until the end, I'll give you a real, tested plan that scales your savings into investments. 2. Savings hacks that work right now. Google this, the 52-week challenge. It's simple, doable, shareable. Week 1, save $1. Week 2, save $2. All the way to week 52, save $52. The total at the end, about $378. That $378 is real seed money to start an emergency account or to fund a micro investment. Yes, 1 prodr plus 2 dur pausmos and so, palsa 52 Bowser 1378. Also, commit yourself to high-yield savings accounts. You don't need to hoard cash under the mattress. In 2026, many online banks offer real APYs for idle cash. Rates in the neighborhood of 4% and up, with some firms offering even higher short-term yields, making your emergency fund earn while it waits. Look for FDIC or NCUA insured accounts. Lastly, I would recommend a reverse budget automation. Immediately transfer the portion for savings and bills, then live off the remainder. When the money is not visible, you stop spending it. Listen closely. If you save just $100 per month and invest it with an average annual return of 8% compounded monthly for 10 years, that money grows to about $18,295. If you keep saving the same $100 per month for 20 years at the same 8% rate, it grows to about $58,902. Those aren't guesses. They are the power of consistent investing. If you can save more and longer, the effect compounds dramatically. Those are practical numbers. Small, regular savings become serious capital with time and discipline. Now, I will give you what my friend Dave Ramsey calls the baby steps. Priority number 1, build a $1,000 starter emergency fund. That's the first buffer that keeps you from high-cost debt. Next, build to 3 months of essential expenses, then 6 months when you can. If you carry high-interest debt, credit card rates often 15% to 25% or more, focus on paying those down aggressively while maintaining a small emergency fund. Use either the avalanche, highest rate first, or the snowball, smallest balance first. Both work if you stick to them. See, this is not fluff. I'm having a real talk about becoming rich in 2026. And there's more I want you to know. Let's dive into investing basics for normal people starting from zero. You don't need a PhD. The simplest, most effective path for most people is this: index funds, plus dollar cost averaging, plus reinvest dividends. Over long periods, broad market index funds have produced returns that beat most actively managed funds after fees. Remember Warren Buffett's advice: be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. It's a reminder to think long-term, avoid emotional trading, and respect valuation. Write this down: Grandpa's practical investing steps for 2026. If you have a 401k and employer matches exist, contribute enough to get the full match. That's free money, always your top priority. Use low-cost index funds or ETFs for core holdings. Keep at least some liquidity in a high-yield savings account for near-term needs. Over very long periods, U.S. stock market averages have hovered near 10% compounded annually. Use that long-term figure for planning scenarios, not to predict next year. Markets are noisy. Compounding is steady. Also, you need to build a better income. Building an income takes 3 different paths you can choose right now. Path A: secure. Stabilize income. Build emergency fund. reduce debt, and save. Good for risk-averse people or those with unstable family income. Path B, balanced. Save, invest, and build a side skill that produces part-time income. Freelance, coaching, gig work. Scale it. Path C, ambitious, entrepreneurial path. Validate a business idea fast, keep burn low, reinvest profits, scale. Very possible in 2026 with AI and online tools. Pick one path and commit for 1 year. You can switch later, but indecision kills momentum. My son started a night gig delivering food while learning to code during the day. He netted $900 a month from deliveries and used every penny to take an online course. 10 months later, he was freelancing as a junior developer and replaced his gig income. That began because he picked a path and moved. At the 2/3 mark, I'll give you an aggressive 6-month plan to increase your income, real tasks, 1 per week, and a risk checklist so you don't blow up your progress. Welcome to Act number 3. If you've made it this far, thank you. That's momentum. Now, let's turn the plan into your life. 6-month income acceleration plan. Week 1, clean your finances. List all income, expenses, debts. Set up automation. Week 2, cancel one waste subscription, call one provider to ask for a better rate. Week 3, apply to 3 side gig listings, freelance marketplace, local jobs, etc. Week 4, learn one marketable skill online for 15 minutes per day. Practice, then list your service. Week 5, create a simple profile and pitch. Send 5 proposals. Week 6, open a high-yield savings account and funnel your side gig earnings there. Repeat weeks 7 to 24 with scaling. Increase proposals, refine skills, reinvest earnings into your highest ROI activity. Here's my measured risk checklist for 2026. Never skip this. 1. Do I have a starter emergency fund? $1,000. 2. Have I eliminated or reduced consumer debt that charges more than I can earn safely? 3. Is this risk reversible? Can I limit downside? 4. Did I set a time limit to test the business idea of at least 90 days? If you can answer yes to those, the risk is calculated. If not, reduce exposure. A quick math example of risk versus reward. Putting $2,000 into retraining that opens a job paying $1,000 per month extra is a 100% return in 2 months of income if it works. That's often better ROI than speculative trading. Invest in you first. How 2026 makes this possible? Markets and technology give you leverage, gig platforms, remote work, affordable education, AI tools to scale productivity. In 2025, many markets performed well, but remember, markets move in cycles. Your advantage is not timing the top of the market, but building income and savings to take advantage of opportunities when they appear. Analysts noted strong market returns through 2025 and some foresee more growth, but that makes risk management essential. Use market strength as opportunity, not an excuse to gamble. I'll give you a few hard numbers to never forget. If you consistently save $200 a month and invest it at 8% annual return, over 15 years you'll have roughly $69,208. That's the power of consistency. If you have a $1,000 investment compounding at 10% for 20 years, it becomes approximately $6,727. Small sums grow if you leave them and add more. These numbers prove the principle. Start now, no matter how small. Examples calculated from standard compound formulas. I once had a neighbor, Rosa, who was 70 and widowed. I didn't know she was wealthy. When she was in her 30s, she cleaned houses and saved $100 every single month into an account. 40 years later, she had a small nest egg, the self-respect of having built something, and the comfort of choices she didn't have before. She told me, "I'm not rich, but I'm free to choose. That's what I want for you." So, remember, If you want freedom in 2026, make these 3 commitments now. 1. Know your numbers. Write them tonight. 2. Automate your savings. Start with a small, consistent amount. 3. Build one income skill and test it consistently for 90 days. If you've stayed this far, thank you. At the end of this video, I want you to type one goal in the comments. The one financial goal you commit to for the next 30 days. I read every comment. I mean that. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Let that be your moral compass. Seek guidance, learn, and move. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Think about that. Patience, discipline, and temperament matter more than hustle in many cycles. A few reminders before we finish. If you have employer match, claim it now. That's immediate return. If you have high interest debt, make a plan to attack it while protecting a small emergency fund. Use high-yield savings for short-term cash. Don't let your emergency fund sit at 0% interest. Thank you for staying until the end. I'm proud of you for caring enough to listen. If you want more step-by-step plans, not hype, real plans that work, subscribe to the Millionaire Grandpa channel. Hit the bell so you don't miss the practical 30-day challenges I put out each month. We're building a community. Read the comments, pick a partner, and hold each other accountable. Now before you go, type one sentence in the comments. My first 30-day financial goal is. I'll read them and I'll reply when I can. Let's build 2026 into your turning point. God bless you, and remember, start small, stay steady, get advice, and act. Thank you for staying with me, and please subscribe to the Millionaire Grandpa channel.